Does anyone know if when Todd moved out, he stopped paying rent for Alexia and Frankie? Because would he really like move out, sneak out like he did, and then keep paying the rent? No, right? Because that's like a whole other level. But maybe he did, and he just wanted out of them. Maybe he knew she'd get, like, that would be part of her alimony? No, I don't know. But Todd is a vexing character to me. He kind of, there's just something real sketchy about him. And I've got questions. So obviously, if anyone knows, if I missed it, maybe something was said in the show that I didn't see, I didn't catch, but I couldn't piece it together. And it was very upsetting to think about Frankie and Alexia just getting left there. Now, I know this should be a lesson to Alexia, who was always lecturing everyone else on not being dependent on a man. But she probably shouldn't be too dependent on Todd. But I imagine the show was paying her something decent, right? And plus in brand deals. And doesn't she have a podcast? So she's probably doing okay. But the Todd and Alexia divorce is the least transparent divorce and relationship currently on Bravo, I think. Anyways, we're going to get into Miami today. We're going to do the premiere episode and episode 2. I was going to record this yesterday, but when I say this, you're going to be like, what were you thinking? I took 3 Tylenol on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and I drank coffee. And then I kind of like forgot I had done that, and then I took my supplements on an empty stomach. It was bad. It took me all day to feel better. But anyway, that was my bad. My bad for sure. Anyways, all right, we're going to get into Miami now. But before I do, make sure you are subscribed, following the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, like this video, leave a little comment, say hi, let's do it. Okay, the premiere episode was done very interesting because it's been a minute. They took an extended break from filming, but it looks like they had picked up cameras and then they put cameras back down. So the first thing you see is Alexia. I think it's like an Alexia Todd, like getting married and doing that whole thing, like a little montage of their love. And then it says 2 years later, Todd files for divorce. And then so April 2024, Alexia is sobbing with Marisol and Julia. Like, how could he do that? It's like a telenovela. It's so good. She's just so passionate. Like, Alexia might drive me nuts, but she is good TV. She brings it. Okay? So according to her, they had a date night Friday, and then Saturday she came home and all of his stuff was gone. And Frankie was like, Todd is gone. Did that all in front. I guess Alexia and Peter had plans, and Todd was like, when are you guys going? You just got to get out of here. Get out of here. Go. Okay. Yeah, right? For sure. But then it says, okay, so we get that scene. And then 2 days later, Alexia calls Teresa. And I'm so glad. Okay, a long time ago, I thought I was like groundbreaking when I pointed out the similarities between Alexia and Teresa. But it's just like they're like twins, but one is Italian and one is Cuban, but they're so freaking similar. They have the same cadence. They kind of like both open their mouths confused. That's how they look. Like when they listen, they're like, what? You know, anyway. So she calls Teresa and she's crying about it with Teresa and she's so sad. And then later that day, the whole group is together and Alexia is telling the whole group about what's going on. I think this is at Larsa's house. And then it says 5 months later. 5 months? What the hell happened here? So that's a significant amount of time from when we were first seeing Todd having moved out, Alexia crying, to now we're 5 months late. 5 months. Damn. So was this when like principal photography was supposed to start? Like this timing is so bizarre. Anyone have any intel on that, actually? Because maybe I missed something. But when I Googled, it just said they were on an extended break. Maybe they were letting more story develop? No, why would they do that? They had the story right there. I don't know. But we come to find out that within that 5 months, Alexia and Todd had rekindled like a couple weeks after they first showed us what was going on. So, but like unbeknownst to the other women. even Marisol. Because when Alexia was like, I didn't want to tell you, and then when she does her, like, I think it's her confessional, she's like, a couple weeks after he had moved out, he said he was sorry. I'm like, a couple weeks, and it's been 5. Just strange editing. This does happen on Miami a lot. Their editing can be kind of choppy and a little confusing. Marisol confronts her. She's like, I didn't know. I had to read about it in the press. And Alexia's like, yeah, we went to Japan. Japan? I don't know why. Seeing her in Japan seems like something I kind of can't understand. I don't know why. But that's a big ass trip. Also expensive. Also very expensive trip. They go on a lot of trips, actually. They went to Greece and Italy. They did a whole Europe trip. Traveling is expensive. I know, because I wish I could do more of it. But every time I look into it, I'm like, geez Louise. Marisol has an excellent saying. I don't know if she made this up on the spot or if this is some saying I didn't know existed till now. But she says, sometimes what's right for the whole isn't right for the soul. Damn straight, bitch. Damn straight. Well, the big issue, though, for Lisa is Larsa and Marcus have broken up. However, Marcus, I guess, was still hanging out with Jody because Marcus is friends with Jody's friends or something. And also Lisa is still following Marcus, which that's an easy one. Just go in and unfollow. Just go, literally sitting right there going, unfollow him. Why do you need to follow him? If that would matter to your friend, what's the big deal? So what had happened was Lisa and Jody were out and Marcus was out with Jody's friends. And Jody joined them for dinner, but Lisa did not. But then Marcus posted a picture with Jody in it. And so Larsa started sending Lisa all these text messages. That's cool. I'm going to be friends with Lenny and his girl. All my friends, including Reed, love her. That's cool, right? Oh, fuck you. You don't have any real friends. Okay. Who do I have a problem with? I don't let my friends fuck, maybe? My boyfriend, because it's blurred out. Because, Larsa will fight dirty. And we'll get into, when Larsa talks about Marcus, we'll get into that scene coming up too, because I am fascinated with what he's gonna eventually, he's threatening her with something. And what does he have on her? Because it seems to really scare her. But we're going to get to that later. But yeah, Lisa, it's kind of an easy one. Just unfollow. But Larsa is going to take it to the pits of hell. You can count on Larsa for that. So they're a fun feud, Lisa and Larsa, because I'm not rooting for either. Larsa is going to say the most wild and terrible shit and never apologize. It's almost impressive. We'll get to more of what she says. But she will say but Lisa can say crazy stuff too. Last season, I did not last season, we were done with Lisa. Done with her. I'm not seeing as much of that this season, but anyway, it doesn't matter because I don't really care. Lisa, I'm not on either team. Just, take each other down. It's kind of fun to watch. Ooh, that's such a bad thing to say. I heard myself. I sounded like a sinister villain. God. All right. Well, speaking of sinister villains, Julia? Mm-hmm. That's right. I said it. That's right. I said it. Julia and Martina have their boys. I'm in a mood, huh? I didn't realize that I thought they were twins, but one is 3 and the other is a year and a half. I don't know why I pictured them being identical to, I don't know, but that's a lot. A 3 and a 1.5, that's a lot. But okay. No, actually, just do this again. Just do this again. Do it again. Do it again. Redo. So there was some big Zoom call that Julia organized and set up with all the women. Kiki couldn't make it because her kid dropped her phone in the toilet. Guerdy just dropped off the call, but then text asking for another link. And then Julia is mad because Guerdy couldn't get back in and didn't send her a link with it. And so then when Guerdy was like, hey, sorry, I couldn't get back in, what happened? Julia was like, oh, that's okay. You can just see it with the press. It's out there now. You can just see it with the press. And Guerdy was like, what the fuck? Okay, sorry. And it's just been cold ever since. And then Julia's like, she just sent this cold message saying, congrats. I'm like, because she's probably confused. She probably doesn't understand, like, I couldn't get into the call. And so Julia is now in a war with Guerdy over that. And Martina and Julia are being such, I'll say it, bitches to Guerdy. I'm sorry. Like, just talk to her. And now I feel like Julia's just trying to do this for a storyline almost. It feels so forced. And Julia, just so that we know like where Julia's standing now, she's gotten a lot of blowback, as she should. So she took to her stories to speak on her behalf. So I'll read what she says. My beautiful souls, this season you've seen a different side of me, one even I've struggled to fully explain. The truth is, just before we began filming, something life-changing happened. I was given the chance to welcome two incredible boys into my life, yeah. It was sudden, emotional, and felt deeply destined. But here's the part no one saw. The adoptions weren't finalized, not yet. I was living in an emotional in-between, loving these boys fiercely while navigating legal uncertainty and keeping so much of it quiet. It was overwhelming, beautiful, yes, but also fragile, sacred, and stressful beyond words, which is why I was so cautious about sharing anything about them in writing, okay? So when moments came up, like sending that strange message you all saw, I didn't always show up as my most present or thoughtful self. And when it came to Guerdy, the truth is, at the time, we weren't in the close, heart-connected place we had once been. Our friendship had shifted a bit, not in anger, not in conflict, just life pulling us in different directions. So when she reached out, I was so wrapped in protecting my own emotional chaos, I fumbled. I never meant to come off cold, careless, or bizarre. I was simply in a storm of my own. This has been a season of growth, messiness, and deep transformation. Thank you for giving me the space to walk through it imperfectly, but with a full and open heart. With love, always, Julia. I just don't get why Guerdy became the enemy over something so small, though. You know, like I have a feeling that this is about to go on all season long. Like, we'll get to them interacting later. Let's go in order here. Okay. Larsa's mom is in town, and Larsa's struggling with this breakup. And it is kind of crazy to see Larsa like cry like this, like sob, like as Kiki says later, ugly cry, like never. It didn't look like she was faking it. Which every time I think I've seen her cry so far, it feels like her face barely moves and just like a little tear comes out. But she says that Marcus's partying was a problem. Like he always wanted to be the last one at the club. And well, we all saw the photos. And the driving under the influence and all that. We saw it all. So she claims, though, that when she pulled away, he was calling her friends and had been saying all this mean shit online. And so obviously she's mad at Lisa for still being cool with Marcus. I guess here isn't where she talks about how he's threatening her. I'm going to wait till we get into it because she shows some text messages, I think, to Alexia at one point, and I'm just so curious what this man has on her. Okay. Lisa is dealing with her own shit. Her dad just had a stroke. Her dad, who she just reconnected with, he was a drinker. Last we saw, she wasn't speaking to her family at all, and so she's just reconnected. He had a stroke. He's on a ventilator. So she's having her own thing. But Lisa is not holding back about Marcus and Larsa, though, because she makes a point to say they've broken up and gotten back together so many times. And Jody's like, exactly. How are we supposed to know? Like, when is it really going to stick? I wonder how long Marcus and Larsa had been broken up at that point, like when they picked cameras back up. All right. Yacht party. Kiki's hosting because this bitch is a member of the Miami Yacht Club. I love that for her. Guerdy, though, let's talk about Guerdy a little bit. She's dealing with life after cancer. I I really think that Guerdy is showing us such an amazingly raw, vulnerable, honest journey of cancer. Because you get through the cancer, but then you're left and you want to like be a whole person. And so she's in her head about not feeling the way she's used to feeling. So she's gained 30 pounds. She's gotten lipo, breast reduction. And she's like, I know me and Russell need to reconnect. But Russell is like, he's also been through it. So this is a really vulnerable and not cool, sad, but like powerful journey to watch. I must say. Because I don't think you often see what happens after you actually recover and get better, because then you're still dealing with the aftermath, and it's such an emotional toll on the person going through it and the whole family. So, loving it. But I can tell Guerdy just feels uncomfortable in her skin and is just trying to like reclaim the way she felt before. But when Miami first rebooted, I had a hard time with Guerdy in season 1. I just didn't get her. But now that I get her, I really love Guerdy. Anyway, is that an unpopular opinion? I don't know how people feel about Guerdy. I feel like they should love her. I can't imagine. She's just like, she's also kind of like a dork, too. In the best way. She's kind of like this cheesy, I don't know. I love her a lot. Kiki's broken up with that boyfriend she had because that boyfriend had a girlfriend. I love Kiki too, man. The way Kiki's like, and then he called me not too long ago to say he broke up with the girlfriend. I'm like, good for you. Get out. Well, Adriana has a new man. Adriana's new man. We will talk about him when we get to that party. We will talk about him when we get to that freaking party. All right. Adriana, in one of her confessionals, she's wearing light-colored contacts. I hate light-colored contacts. I hate it. Portia wore them on this season of Atlanta at one point. I just like, they freak me out. I can't stand them. I just like, take them out right now. They don't make you look like you have that color eyes at all. All right, Larsa and Alexia get dinner. This is where Larsa brings up what Marcus has been doing. First Larsa tries to be like, we're both single. And Alexia is like, no, I am not single. I am not single. But then she's talking about with Todd, she goes, we just don't even talk about it. We don't even talk about the divorce. That's the thing we're not even discussing. I'm like, what? How do you, what do you talk about? Just talk about uncomfortable, like walking on eggshells. Like Alexia is just like tiptoeing around like she doesn't feel secure at all. And he is just loving that, I bet. But I could not believe they actually did talk about the picture of Marcus doing coke. But okay, he's been sending Larsa texts. When you least expect it, I'm going to get you back. And I could care less about the impact it does to your family. I just want to know. He could also just be like fucking with her, and just even that just doesn't feel good. But I don't know. I feel like he's got a secret or two. When you least expect it, and I don't care about the impact on your family. What is that? He could just be threatening, and it could just be bullshit. But now let's get to Jody's party. Adriana brings her French marquis boyfriend. And it is a whole thing. It is a whole thing. So Julia and Adriana have a little tension. They just haven't been as close. It's interesting. I think Julia is kind of shifting alliances. I do see her cozying up. She's done with Guerdy. Kind of doesn't really talk to Adriana. Guerdy. Speaking of Guerdy, though, her outfit to this, it's a little unhinged. It feels like she just wants to feel sexy again. And she's trying to figure out what that even feels like. You know what I mean? I just want to give her a hug. But what the fuck is this moment with Guerdy and Martina and the fake smiling? Guerdy asks about the 2 boys and, whoa. Martina just goes, and like puts on this creepy ass smile and is like, and then stops smiling. And Guerdy's like, okay, what the fuck is happening? Lisa and Larsa have the most insane greeting. Larsa goes, I called you and I texted you. Lisa goes, no, you didn't. Actually, did you? Wait, actually, no, you might have. And did I call you back? Okay. But then she's just drunk, which is going to, I think this is going to be a bit of a storyline because they tried to paint it out to look like Jody and his friends are doing coke. And now they're talking they're going to say a couple of times that Lisa's drunk already or drunk again or something like that. So I feel like they're kind of pointing this out for a reason with the alcohol with Lisa, but she's drunk and just all over the place. Maybe you did call me. You know what? It's been a lot. I don't. Okay, girl. But then Larsa, when she talks to Jody, I could not believe. I'm like, this is Jody's party. And she's like, do you see what I was saying about Marcus? Right? Do you see what he's saying about me? And Jody's like, oh, I didn't see it. Okay. Which I kind of do. I can see, like, if you're not seeking out gossip, then I can see not happening to notice what Marcus is saying. I don't think I even noticed a bunch of stuff Marcus was saying. Honestly, I don't remember that even being a big, like, headline or anything. But, like, Larsa is so consumed with it, obviously, so she's like, everyone has to have seen it. I know everyone saw it. But, like, she doesn't give a fuck. This is Jody's party. She's going to bring this shit up, okay? Because she needs justice. Poor Guerdy, dude. She tries to ask Martina why she's on the outs. Like, what's going on? I feel like I'm on the outs. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I guess there was a call or something and you missed it. I don't know. I'm going to go. Walks. And I don't know if Julia was talking about Guerdy, but they cut over to her at the party, like seemingly right there, watching this conversation. And she goes, I don't like fake. How is Guerdy being fake? She didn't make it to your Zoom call. Like, other people didn't make it either. Right? Oh, the AC. I want to address the AC. I actually do believe Jody and production when they say that the AC meant air conditioning, that they had to have all the doors open. I wonder if that's for COVID. I wonder if that's a COVID thing, like COVID protocol thing. Like if you're going to have people inside, I don't know. But they had to have the doors open. And as someone who has been to Florida in the summer, it is so humid. So I do believe, because you don't need to all go in a room to do coke, but I mean, I guess you kind of do. But I do believe that they were just going into a room with AC. I'm going to go with it because it doesn't really freaking matter to me, honestly. It just doesn't. It's Miami. Are we even that surprised? Was there something? Oh, you know what I'm remembering? Wasn't there something? Lenny was trying to push a lot of stories about Lisa being like a party animal and going out all the time. So maybe there's some truth. Maybe that's what they're trying to correlate. Anyway, Lisa is drunk and she's like, woo, I'm celebrating life, woo. And Larsa goes, just remember when your life wasn't so good and your friends checked on you. Okay. And bad timing too, because when you know someone's drunk, not a good time to have a deep conversation. It's only going to go bad. But Larsa's like, you don't check in on me. And then, of course, brings up Marcus and Jody. And because Lisa's not giving Larsa what she wants, Larsa's got to like alley-oop. She goes, Marcus always said that Jody was cheap. So, and then Lisa says, you never told me how bad it got with Marcus. And Larsa goes, well, remember with Lenny, you didn't tell us everything. And so Lisa's like, okay, if we're going to compare it to Lenny, then I'm going to compare it to Scotty. Like, well, with you chose to leave your husband. And Larsa goes, well, you chose to have women in your hot tub. What the fuck? Larsa will fight as dirty as possible. As dirty as she needs to get, she will get there. And so Lisa goes, why is Marcus still trying to hang out with Jody? And Larsa goes, because he's trying to get back at me. They were never friends before. And then Lisa says, one of the first times you broke up, Jody and I left a real party for your fake breakup. Okay. By the way Larsa reacts to this kind of makes it seem like Lisa's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't a fake breakup, then it could just be like, oh, fuck you, you're such a bitch. But she gets the biggest reaction to it. Fake breakup, fake breakup, fake breakup, over and over and over. How dare you say fake breakup? I'm like, was it a fake breakup? Was it? Because, you know? But Larsa's like yelling across the room at that point, the little area they're in. She's like, fake breakup. And Lisa's like, get out. Get out. So Kiki takes Kiki takes Larsa to the bathroom so she can like ugly cry. Marisol tries to like calm Lisa down, and she goes, "Monkey, I think you've had too much to drink." And the only appropriate response to Marisol saying that to you is, "You're saying that?" Which I kind of feel like if Marisol's saying it, then it might be then it might be true. If Marisol is like, that's the issue here. I would rarely blame the cockies, but I think that's what the problem is. And so Larsa comes back out from the bathroom. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, it was a fake breakup? Well, you're stupid." What? And then Lisa's like, "Get out. Get out." And so as Larsa's leaving, I was shocked. Julia comforts Larsa. And Guerdy and Adriana comfort Lisa. So the whole group goes out for Larsa. Those two stay for Lisa. I'm just noting the divides. And then the last shot of this first episode is them, or Lisa rather, drunkenly singing happy birthday to Jody as Larsa leaves. But she's like, "Happy birthday." Just wasted. Anyways, all right. Episode 2. During these unprecedented times, I have been clutching my cornbread hemp CBD gummies like my life depends on it. I have tried all kinds of gummies, THC, CBD, you name it, and cornbread gives me the most pleasant feeling of all I've tried. I've been getting down with the THC gummies, Blueberry Breeze, and even though everything around me is a mess, it feels nice. The gummies are helping. Cornbread hemp only uses the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD. It's formulated to relieve discomfort, stress, sleeplessness, and all products are third-party lab tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. Right now, She's Speaking listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/shespeaks and use code SHESPEAKS at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/shespeaks and use code SHESPEAKS. These days, we are called to get out there and fight the good fight. But what if your feet hurt? Well, that is where Vionic shoes come in. They are my official shoe of the moment. Now, when I say that Vionic shoes revolutionized medical orthotics, you're going to immediately think of some ugly shoe that you would never want to wear in public. But that is not the case. The Uptown Loafer, it's part loafer, part sneaker. I think they are a fantastic flat. They go with everything. The Uptown Willa, really cute too. Part sneaker, part moccasin. So it's very streamlined. And all the shoes have the BioMotion technology that Vionic shoes are known for. Now, are you walking in the right shoes? Because I wasn't. The Walk Max sneaker, it's engineered for walking. It'll take you from errands to theme parks. And these shoes don't just help your feet. They help with whole body balance. So my knees feel better, my hips feel better, my ankles feel better. So now nothing's going to stop us from getting out there, fighting the good fight, and not having to sit down after 5 minutes. Use code SHESPEAKS at checkout for 15% off your entire order at VionicShoes.com when you log into your account, one-time use only. Vionic Shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. So Lisa's father, as we know, had just had I thought it was a stroke. Now I think he's had another heart attack or something. But she's booked the job in Milan with this designer, Philip Plein. But Larsa's son, Preston, is also walking in the show. Preston puts a very clear boundary out with Larsa right off the top. I'm talking as clear as a boundary can get. And he says, "I don't really want to talk about Lisa. This is a work trip for me. So he's like, I don't want to be involved in a storyline on this show, period." That's what he's definitely saying. Like, don't fucking do this to me, Mom. But Lisa and Larsa end up in the same car when they get to Milan. And Preston's in the front seat intelligently. That was a smart move. He got to the front and he's like, "Leave me the fuck out of this." Brilliant. Larsa doesn't give a fuck about her son being in the front seat. She even says, when they're all sitting there and start driving, she says, I told Preston I wasn't going to do all this, but then continues to do all this. Lisa tries to be like, Preston, are you excited about walking in the show? Is this your first show? He's like, yeah, I practiced. And Larsa goes, you practiced? And Lisa then thinks she can be, cute and says, you're like a stage mom. And Larsa says, I know, when you said everyone knows who you are, I'm like, what am I, Lisa? Oh, dear, here we go. It's on. Larsa's like, that hurt my feelings. And Lisa's like, well, it also hurt my feelings when you came to the party and then called Jody cheap. And Jody actually he's like, yeah, man, it was my party and I was being all nice to you. And then you were like talking shit like that. Ew. And then all Larsa can get in this one is like, okay, fine, be friends with Marcus. That's fine. Just be friends with Marcus. He doesn't like you. He's using you, just so you know. And that's cool. That's fine. I have chosen Lisa for 15 years. That's completely fine. Lisa's like, okay, we're just gonna keep it. We're gonna bring it down. We're gonna, okay. And then she goes, Preston, I'm sorry about this. And he's like, oh God, please don't say my name. Please don't say my name in this scene. Doesn't even snap Larsa out of it. She's like, he's fine. And then Lisa, in this conversation, though, says that she's like, my dad is not doing well. He's had a heart attack. And I think Jody must have said something like he might only have a week to live or something, because Larsa picks up on that and she goes, well, then why are you here? You shouldn't even be here then. Why are you here? Oh, girl. That's the shit that Larsa says, and she will never apologize for it. Like, when we get to the reunion, you better believe she's going to be like, well, why were you there? Why would you be there if your dad's dying? Why would you be there? And Andy will be like, Larsa, I mean, this is pretty bad. She'll be like, what? She will never apologize. Ever, ever, ever. Which is, Larsa is a special person. Larsa is a especially mean person. But okay, so they have this awful fight. Then they get to their rooms and Preston sits across the room from Larsa, and fucking Larsa starts going in again. Like, I mean, why would she be here if her dad's in the hospital? Like, what, right? And he goes, just don't be confrontational. Okay, please. He's like, he's like, it's none of our business. Like, he's so uncomfortable. And she doesn't even care. This designer, I can't tell who the designer is, because there's someone who's like really good friends with Larsa that like hangs out with her. And then there's this mean man who comes in. I think he's the designer. He's like, oh, who ties their shoes like this? You do that? You do that? You tie your shoes like that? Is that an American thing? Oh, God. It's disgusting. Shut up, jerk. Whatever. Meanwhile, back in Miami, Alexia and Julia do Pilates. And so Julia gets into more of what made her upset about Guerdy. And I was confused as hell with this. So she says that she was going to go on a cruise, but Martina ended up she had a health scare that morning and couldn't go. So Guerdy agreed to go with her and take Martina's place. And apparently Guerdy, according to Julia, made it all about herself and publicity and PR. But she was texting her. I'm going to read the text. Hold on. The text was something, they don't have my name on the dinner reservation. Not sure why they separated us, since I only came because of you. I was moved to the side for this exclusive party. Anyway, all good here. I'll have dinner alone. See you around. It's leading me to think that when they got to this cruise dinner, that Guerdy was sat away from Julia on this. I think I would be confused by that too. I'd be like, why wouldn't I sit next to the person I'm here with? Because I was brought here to be your partner. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. So I'm confused why Julia is like, oh, she made it all about publicity. It's like, you had her, she came to on this cruise with you and then was separated from you. And you're like, wow, I would be mortified. I'd be like, oh my God, where are you sitting? Let me fix it. But instead it's like, oh, it's all about publicity. No, if I thought I was going to be with my friend, I don't understand that. I feel like she was it sounds like she was just looking for something. Because, I think we can all agree. If Guerdy went just to be with Julia, then why would she be separated from Julia at the dinner? I'm sure Martina wouldn't have been. So it just sounds like Julia was looking for a fight with her and looking to not like her. It's so weird. Speaking of Guerdy, though, she's showing us everything on this journey. When she goes to the doctor visit and shows, she's just hanging it out there, showing how she wants to have her breasts like reconstructed. And the doctor's talking about how, maybe a couple surgeries. And Russell is so traumatized. Russell is like, oh, please don't make me go through this, because Russell's the one that has to wait on her hand and foot, Like you can't, when you get these surgeries, you can't like lift your arms above a certain level, I think. And so he has to take care of her. So it is a lot to ask. Maybe they should invest in like an actual caretaker, and Russell doesn't have to be that guy. And maybe that's impossible. Like maybe just simply living with someone who's gone through it. You can't help it. I'm sure that's it, right? He's like, no, get the chambermaid, and like has a bell. I can't imagine that. And the boys too, like seeing your mom like that. But I am like so on Guerdy's side here. I can only imagine how bad you want to look in the mirror and recognize yourself and not feel like a sick person. And so I understand. I'm sure people are criticizing her for being focused on it, but it's like it's an emotional thing I can see for her too, just wanting to connect with what she looks like again, Anyways, Alexia hosts a night out for her friend Johnny. He's moved to Madrid, so he's in town for a night, I guess. And I was sad because Guerdy and Adriana did not make the list. Adriana, I get, but Guerdy? Why are you leaving? What did Guerdy do to you? Am I forgetting? They did have a feud. They did feud. They had a good feud. They had a good feud at the reunion. But I was so team Guerdy on it. Everyone was fighting with Alexia. Alexia was a mess last season. So, because she was like covering up all the Todd stuff, so she was like all extra crazy. But anyway, so Johnny has been there for Alexia during the breakup. And I would like to remind everyone that when the breakup happened, it was 5 months prior to this. So all of this like support and stuff and, fuck Todd energy is interesting because she is and has been seeing Todd still. And it's just such a weird look on Alexia. You would just imagine that she'd be strong like that. But I guess, honestly, she seems like she's kind of weak when it comes to men, maybe. Like that's her weak spot, possibly. But Alexia's giving Todd all the power. He had filed or started the paperwork to file, and now they're like, okay, you submitted the paperwork. You have 30 days. Either you're going to file or you're going to cancel it. And she's like, I'm waiting for him to tell me what the plan is. And it's like, how do you even want to be with him? Again, is he still paying rent for you? Did you have to start paying rent on your own? I have to know this. But I believe Todd did not like the show. I can totally believe that. Because when we first met Alexia and Todd, they were a few years into their relationship, no show, having no cameras around. Then they introduced the cameras and Todd doesn't get this like glow. Because Todd was trying to do a lot to show that they were super happy. Like they do the charity basketball event, but it also happens to land on Alexia's birthday. And then he surprises her with some watch, some like $75,000 watch that like doesn't even fit Alexia. That was probably just a gift from someone else to him. And he's like, I'll just give it to Alexia on camera to make it look like we're balling. He felt very much like he was trying to portray an image and was so I can see the show fucking with him. But she volunteered to quit the show. And he said, it's too late already. Well, yeah, because you damaged your own reputation. That weird 9-minute apology video to Anthony. Like, you did that. But Marisol, her theory is that he's being nice right now because they've picked cameras back up. But I don't think that's the case. I think Alexia has been seeing him this whole time and not telling her. And I don't believe for a second Todd is making any promises or being romantic or doing any of that. I think Alexia is just like filling in whatever she wants to hear. She's like, okay, it's good. Because we don't even talk about the divorce anyway. She said it herself. But because Todd is a narcissist, Marisol is like, I've had a narc. She's had a narc. And Alexia goes, they should all fucking die. They're monsters. They're terrible. They should all fucking die. They're monsters. But Alexia, she's really spinning this. She's like, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of filing for a divorce. He wants to say, see, you did this. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like she doesn't want to do it because she's hoping he won't do it. But he did do it. They are legally divorced, but still also spotted cozying up all over Miami. So it's a very confusing divorce. Julia kind of tries to bring her back to reality and remind her, like, don't forget what he did to Frankie. And she kind of, she does. In a second, she's like literally begging them. She's crying. She's like, please help me. Don't let me go back to him. Please. But you know what I mean? Okay, the fashion show, the Milan fashion show. Lisa's being very sweet to Preston when they're backstage. She actually has a nice maternal, she's clearly known Preston since he was a little kid. So she's very sweet. And he looks great in the show, I gotta say. He looked excellent. Like he was a born to model type of guy. But Larsa was such a hater with doing the selfies when Lisa came out. I think there was the poll on Watch What Happens Live was like, was it shady? Was it too far? Was it both or something like that? It was like, it was shitty, but it was also like funny. And, you know, it was good TV because the visual of her literally with the selfie light on her as Lisa passes was like an excellent shot. I'm like, they got that angle. That's impressive. But okay, now they're at the after party. It is so loud in here. The audio guys must be losing their minds. The audio guys, because whenever you hear them in a club and you can barely hear them, like they have to be tuning everything out. It's so hard to capture that. But at this loud ass after party, Larsa goes up to Lisa, and you know that way how you like yell when you're at a club, and it's like, I feel like we need to talk when we get home. And you're like, what? But it's like, this isn't the time. Obviously, you're going to talk when you get home. You can have this conversation later. But Lisa goes, I don't want to do it here. I want to have fun. And Larsa goes, yeah, same. So why'd you come over and do this? You didn't have to. At one point, Fabulous the rapper is listening to these bitches like share the story of what's happening. And he seems to side with Lisa, but Larsa just hears the part where he agreed with her. So it doesn't matter. She's like, I'm pretty sure I heard what he said, and it's that I'm right. So that's cool. Larsa, though, here's where she's planting that seed. She's stirring the pot. She goes, where's Jody? And I think Lisa says he's mad at her because he feels left out or something. Larsa jumps on this. She's like, why wouldn't he be there to support her? I mean, what's that about? Okay. I mean, maybe Jody does suck. No, I don't know if Jody sucks. Does Jody suck? I don't know. But then the screen says, the camera shut down for the night, but the tension between Lisa, Larsa, and Jody didn't. And then it's all 1 week later. And it's the group of a bunch of them hanging out, but not Lisa. And Julia says to Larsa, I want to hear what happened in Milan. Marisol has an eye patch, by the way. I'm going to need information on that for sure. But Larsa tells them Jody got crazy and that he didn't want them talking. And he was like yelling over them. And Julia says, how big were his eyeballs? And the photo is insane. Insane. Lisa posted on her on her Instagram. It's like there was like a photo booth or photo op area that they were taking a bunch of pictures in. So this is what Lisa says. So Larsa picks one group picture of Jody and zooms in, even though everyone in the album has black eyes. She's not a friend. She was working overtime to paint a false narrative. And why is Julia asking what did his eyes look like without even seeing his eyes? Then boom, she has the zoomed in pic taken out of context, ready to go as though he was angry and glaring at me, even though I'm in the picture. Was that what it was trying to say? So yeah, that's what Lisa's alleging. Lisa's saying, it does seem like Larsa is trying to make Jody look bad. Does he suck? I can't tell. Does he suck? I mean, his teeth are a little much. He's always got the big old smile with the teeth. But they're hinting at something. But Jody seems nice. Is Jody weird? Have I missed some things? I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be good TV. And that's all that matters. Anyways, goodness. All right. This was hard. This was a hard one to get through. There was so much to talk about. All right, well, I'm going to go now. That wraps us up. Tomorrow is the wrap-up, and tomorrow is going to be very true crime heavy because I'm going to get into the Gilgo Beach killer and more about Rex Heuermann, like the whole Long Island serial killer stuff. So that'll be fun, too. But also, we're going to do Atlanta, of course. We have 2 episodes to cover of Atlanta, so that will be done tomorrow. All right, I'm in a weird mood. I gotta go. Love you guys. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or 2. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.